There is one unknown addiction that prevents so many people from actually getting the healing results that they deserve. So we're going to break this down today, spell it all out for you so that you can make the most informed choices when it comes to your health and your healing. All right, so let's get right to it. What in the world am I actually talking about? Here it is. I'm talking about adrenaline addiction, and food can play a huge role in this. Just for reference, what is adrenaline? It's one of your stress hormones. It's known as the fight or flight hormone, and your body produces different types, different blends of it, depending on the type of situation that you're faced against. And thank God that we have adrenaline. It can be literally life-saving, but it also goes into effect in non-life-threatening situations. When that's flowing through your body, it can act almost like a steroid in the sense that it can cover up how bad you otherwise feel. So it can kind of just mute those symptoms that you do not like experiencing, right? Which, hey, who wouldn't enjoy that? Yeah, sign us all up for less bad symptoms, right? But there's a right way and a wrong way to get there. Adrenaline is a powerful substance. You can almost think of it just like a drug. In that sense, you can become addicted to it without ever realizing it. And Anthony William, medical medium, has referenced it as man's first drug addiction is to his own adrenaline. And there's lots of examples where we can see that, yeah, people get addicted to adrenaline. The most obvious one being extreme sports, right? Like skydiving, bungee jumping, big wave surfing, things like that. Those people keep going back to those extremely dangerous activities because they love that feeling of adrenaline that gets released throughout their body. It is a kind of fun trick that you can have your body play, but it is not conducive to healing. What's the relation between adrenaline and food? What happens is every time that you eat a fat, it doesn't matter if we're talking about a piece of bacon, coconut oil, seed oils, avocado, any type of fat, whether it's unhealthy fat, healthy fat, saturated fat, unsaturated fat, does not matter. If you're eating a fat-dense food, your adrenal glands are going to pump out some adrenaline. Why would they need to do that? They do that because adrenaline helps to disperse the fat out of your bloodstream more quickly. Why is that important? That's important, and it's a built-in defense mechanism in every human body because fat is tough on your liver, your heart, and on your brain. So that right there probably challenges a lot of beliefs that you have about fat, and especially healthy fat. You're probably thinking, well, how could healthy fat be bad? Well, two things can be true. Some fats do have some health benefits. And if you eat them at a low amount, you can definitely have some fats and still heal and still have a healthy life. That's absolutely true. I'm not saying you have to be fat-free for the rest of your life. Most people eat way too many fats, right? Fats in like every food. It's the cornerstone of the meals, plus you're snacking on it. When you get that adrenaline release from eating a fat, guess that what you are training your body to like and to do. You unknowingly have just created this connection of like, oh, every time I eat something fat, I feel pretty good. That keeps you coming back for more. When we get back to why is it bad for you? And again, you can have some fat. Sure, absolutely. Every time that you eat fat, it's basically like you're putting the brakes on your healing because you stop cleansing. Overnight, your body has natural cleansing mechanisms built in through the liver. The only reason that stops is when you introduce some fat in the morning or whatever time that you start eating some fatty foods, because your liver then has to stop the cleansing process and go into bile production mode to, again, disperse those fats. That's one of the reasons why fats are very tough on your liver. They're tough on your pancreas too, because it makes it harder for insulin to travel throughout your blood to get to cells, to unlock the cells. That's where insulin resistance, things like type 2 diabetes actually start, is with a lot of fat in the blood. And fat is very thick. And when it's in your blood, that means there is less space for all the great things that could be in your blood that are going to help to cleanse and heal and protect you. So there's going to be less vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, oxygen in your blood when there is more fat in your blood. Fat can also create a barrier between a pathogen like a virus or a bad bacteria and your immune system. So it can kind of create this layer that can protect and insulate that bug from your white blood cells. So now your immune system can't be as effective at fighting off that pathogen, which obviously is not something that we want either. What does this all translate to? This is very important to know and understand, because when you know that's what's happening in your body, that gives you a lot of power. That doesn't mean you're never going to have a craving for a certain comfort food or anything like that. It's just going to help you make a more informed choice when the cravings hit. And you're going to feel more in control, and you can tell yourself like, oh, okay, like I get it. I feel better when I eat this comfort food, which by the way, all comfort foods have fat in them, because it's kind of just making me feel less fat. Knowing that it's working against you long term, that is not something that you want to be doing. And again, that adrenaline that gets released, that is a toxic, corrosive adrenaline. That's, again, creates more work for your liver. You don't want this adrenaline pumping through your body nonstop throughout the day. The other side of that is that you craving that comfort, which is really just that adrenaline release, allows you to eat these foods that congest your liver, make it harder for your immune system to do what it needs to do. And when you don't understand these things, you try to eat some healing, cleansing foods. You start to crave some fatty food. It's so easy to get sucked back into the same thinking around foods. You get to this place in your health in the first place. And it's part of the reason why so many people make excuses for why fat is healthy, and they have no idea that it's really just because they're addicted to their own adrenaline that's getting released when they're eating these fatty foods. To sum things up, this is just one of like the many challenges that most people face when healing. And do you see how sneaky this is? That's why you can't just tell someone like, don't eat these foods and that's great, that's it. Looks good on paper, but then you try to go implement that in the real world. These cravings for fatty foods come up and you get sucked back over to that side. This is why I do coaching. This is why coaching is vital. If you want to fast track your healing, is because we have a chance to start to understand all these different nuances that are at play when you're trying to heal the right way. And, if you can keep an open mind and you want to learn, man, your healing can really just explode and take off. There's so many things that you have to start thinking differently about. And once you do that, the sky's the limit with healing. So if you need help on your healing journey, the best place to reach me, send me a DM on Instagram, reach out to us there. We'll chat and we'll see if you're in a situation that I can help you out with. That's why people crave fat. Because if you think about it, fat by itself does not really taste good. That's the connection. So we're going to stop getting caught in that trap now. And we're going to use this as leverage to change our habits, to get into more cleansing, healing foods so we can get to where we want to go with our health, because you can heal.